Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'll be covering Power Man and Iron Fist number 97, published by Marvel Comics in 1983. Here we have a great, very striking cover by interior penciler Ernie Chan. We have Power Man attacking a new character. Her name, Farah. Her mission, kill the Fist. And we see Iron Fist on the ground, seemingly at Farah's mercy. So pretty striking looking new character debuting in this issue. Love the corner piece here. Looks like Kerry Gammill artwork on the corner piece of Power Man and Iron Fist. Very nice. And I wanted to review this issue for a couple of reasons. Number one, I remember it as a kid growing up. I saw it on the rack but never bought it. I grabbed it out of a dollar bin a few days ago. Number two, it's written by Kurt Busiek. And this is early Kurt Busiek scripting early on in his career. And it's pretty cool for that. And finally, and probably the most interesting thing, is it really contains what I would term an artistic odd couple. So let's look at our credits. Kurt Busiek story, Ernie Chan pencils, Mike Mignola inks. Interesting. I couldn't think of two more disparate styles to pair together. And we're going to see that kind of melding of these styles in this issue. Janice Chang is our letterer. Christy Shield provides the colors. Denny O'Neil is the editor. Jim Shooter is listed as the leader. I don't think he's Samuel Stearns, the leader. I think he's the editor-in-chief. Be that as it may. Our story title is The Coming of the She-Beast. So here we have Power Man. Luke Cage is being forced to move due to some animosity in the neighborhood toward him. Luke Cage, Power Man, the original hero for hire, is leaving Times Square. Lived here for years, ever since I started with this whole superhero razzmatazz. And up until yesterday, I never thought the people here didn't want me around. Look at me as nothing but a nuisance. But man, the day those turkeys side with a 2-bit supervillain instead of me, that's it, Jack. I'm gone. So I'm not sure what happened in 96. That might have been a Camistro issue, another one of their regular foes, but I just can't remember. So whatever it is, Power Man feels like he has to leave his longtime apartment above D.W. Griffith's theater in Times Square. And he has long been a protector of Times Square. Because remember, this is not the New York of our modern era. This is the New York of the 80s, kind of just coming out of the sort of 70s taxi driver era. So it's still kind of grimy, gritty, and dangerous. Fist, you look about as comfortable as a cat in a tuxedo. Why don't you take off? I can finish this myself. Besides, you'll be seeing plenty of me anyways, since I'll be staying at your digs till I can find another place. Okay then, I'll see you later. Say hi to Misty for me. I'll do that. So long, DW. And Iron Fist thinks, I can't help it. I still think there's something wrong with this uprooting. And outside, we have more of these local troublemakers calling for Luke Cage to leave immediately. But Iron Fist appears and cowls them with his fearsome presence. So he says, so is Luke. Perhaps you'd like to say goodbye to him personally. I'll just tell him you stopped by to wish him your best then. See you. And he sends them off and they go. Miles away at a suburban manufacturing plant, grab your weapons. We've seen these guns before in issue number 95. Remember? That's a note from editor Denny O'Neil. Double time it, everyone. The boss wants the whole action squad in the briefing room now. So we've got some guys in some paramilitary uniforms with some crazy hand blasters. And I confess I'm not sure who this fellow is here. You're going out again, and after the same thing you failed to get before, the power gem of Quan. It's now in Manhattan at the West Side townhouse of Daniel Rand. And Daniel Rand is, of course, Iron Fist. And I hope to heaven he's not home. I can't deal with Iron Fist again, this guy thinks to himself. Because of your miserable failure last time, I've arranged for you to have some superpowered help on this. Arranged, human? You arranged nothing. And so we have our first appearance of Farah. And very cool here appearance. And we can see here early on the kind of strange melding of Chan's very strong pencils and Mike Mignola's much looser line on the inks. And you can sort of see shades of each artist in the work, and it's very interesting. It almost reminds me of when Mignola was penciling Alpha Flight for 3 or 4 issues, and inker Gary Taliak was inking him with some very strong inks. So it's a very interesting art pairing on this. You arranged nothing. She steps lightly out of the shadows, her voice a harsh snarl, as if human language is unfamiliar to her. You have no authority over Farah. None whatsoever. So she dives in, and just to prove that she is her own agent, she randomly just slashes the throat of one of these paramilitary goons. Farah takes her orders only from the master. And you ineffectual coward, dare not object, for you are sworn to obey the same master, and have been so far longer than she. And he thinks to himself, I wish she hadn't said that. I wish she wasn't right. So again, we can see in this facial structure here, shades of Mignola coming through the Chan pencils. Meanwhile, back at the Gem Theater, and I'll probably never find someone else to rent this place. I guess what I'm trying to say, Luke, is I'm gonna miss you. Yeah, DW, I'm gonna miss you too. But the way things worked out, I don't see much else I can do. So here, Luke has some harsh words with his doctor friend Claire, who wants him to stay in the neighborhood in spite of everything, and not give in. Be serious, Luke. There are good people here in Times Square, and they're alone and defenseless here, defenseless except for you. These people are in the minority, true, but that only means you're needed more. You mustn't run away and give the area over completely to the animals. These people need you, Luke. How can you leave them? So this is before Times Square became the highly corporatized photo op, digital miasma that it is now. It was a grimy, dirty, dangerous place, and Kurt Busiek's script reflects that reality. How? I needed you, Claire, and you left me anyway. Left me because of the life I led. The life you're trying to get me to stick with now. I'm sorry, Luke. I shouldn't have come. And Luke regrets his harsh words. Uptown, at the opulent Rand townhouse. So we have Iron Fist and his civilian guys as Danny Rand. This probably isn't good for me, but I can't seem to stop brooding over this mystic gem and the affinity it has for my own mystic power. There's something compelling about that flickering at the heart of it, compelling and sinister. Hey, Danny, so someone calls from outside. And it's Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, and they're about to go roller skating. Now, Misty Knight is Danny's girlfriend, and Colleen Wing is her partner in their Nightwing Restoration private detective agency. So they're very fashionable here in their roller skating outfits. And they brought a pair of skates for Danny. So he's coming down. In Times Square again. Lukey, where are you? In here, Harmony. Don't like to think I'm deserting people. Is Claire right? Are there folks around here who still need me? There you are, Lammy. Almost ready to go? So Harmony is Luke's current girlfriend, while Claire was a previous love interest. Harmony, do you think I'm making the right decision leaving like this? Is it really the best move? How can you ask such a question? Of course it's a smart move. In another apartment, you could get some really nice furniture. And just think of the social contacts you could make. Maybe you should move to the East 80s somewhere. And Andy Warhol lives around there. And Luke thinks to himself, Andy Warhol? One thing's for sure, Claire and Harmony have got different priorities and then some. So here in this page, especially toward these later panels, I really feel like Mignola is starting to kind of develop a little bit of an affinity for Chan's pencils. Central Park. I should never have let you talk me into this call. I can barely stay on my feet. Oh, relax, Misty. You're doing fine. And meanwhile, how good of a roller skater is Danny Rand? Well, being that he possesses near perfect balance and near supernatural athletic skills, pretty good. He adapts to it well. Misty's not having it though, and she pushes him down in a joking fashion. Daniel Rand laughs and realizes how long it's been since he's forgotten his cares and just spent time with his friends. But all things must end, and eventually the three friends must head back. It's probably thick of me not to have noticed before, but you've sure lightened up a lot since we first met, Call. You used to be so grim. Yeah, I've had a lot to be grim about, but now, thanks to Dad's having snapped out of his amnesia and the admittedly terrific time I've been having with Bob, I feel more up, and I guess it shows. So she's referring to Bob Diamond, Daniel Rand's sparring partner and ex-member of the Sons of the Dragon. I believe that's the martial arts trio who formed the entity known as the White Tiger. And meanwhile, Danny, ever on the alert for trouble, notices something. Those guys, they're from the gang that was trying to steal the Mystic Gem. Are they trying to steal it from me now? Well, they're standing outside your apartment, Dan. I would think that's pretty obvious. Hey, what's going on? He yells. Uh-oh, it's the Rand kid. He's back. This could screw up the whole job. Why? Maybe the boss is scared of this guy for some reason, but I'm not. What can he do to us? So the girls are going to shed their skates, but Danny doesn't want to waste time. He skates forward and shows that he's every bit the action hero on roller skates that he is, just in his martial arts slippers. So here he delivers a pretty powerful kick and obviously breaks this guy's hand. Crack! My hand! Looks like you know some kung fu, huh? I've had a few lessons, Rand says. How am I doing? How'd you dodge so fast? I've got a better question. What are you doing in my house? Hey in there, we need reinforcements, the thug with the broken hand yells. So, and we see more guys are flowing out of the house. So now Colleen Wing and Misty Knight get in on the action. Misty has her bionic arm, so she's easily able to take these thugs on. And Colleen is a modern day samurai, so she is also not without combat capability. So they're kicking butt here. Meanwhile, Misty, I've got to get inside. I don't know what these goons want here, but I've got a suspicion. So the ladies decide they're going to take the brunt of these thugs, and Danny is going to do what he does. Okay, young dragon, time to move. This is going to be a bit complicated. Step 1, unlace the skates. Step 2, get to the house and gain some altitude in the process. The door frame should do nicely. Got it. And step 3, ditch the skates. So some pretty cool fight choreography here from Ernie Chan. And again, the Mignola finishes on these pencils are starting to really round into shape here. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The skates fly off, and we see he has those aforementioned martial arts slippers on underneath. So he lands and thinks, not bad, Iron Fist, not bad. A little more practice, and you might have something there. Now, Misty and Colleen should be able to keep the goons occupied. Leave me free to search the house. So Iron Fist is getting into his superhero fighting togs, revealing the dragon tattoo on his chest. And Luke is leaving the Gem Theater now, laden with boxes. He's loading up Harmony's sports car. And she says, you want to come with me? And he says, no, I want to walk around the neighborhood a little more and kind of say goodbye to it. Never thought about it before, but I really like this place. The way there's always something doing, day or night. It's always alive. Still, I don't see how I could stay after I found out how wrong I was about the people here. Good thing Fist has such a big house and can take guests at such short notice. Great double page spread of this Mile High Comics ad. Just for fun, let's check the price. I never did send away to Mile High Comics, always wanted to, But even then, these prices seemed like out of my reach as a 13-year-old kid. Okay, let's just check. X-Men 120 and 121 were going for $9 each. I'll take that. I'll take that. What about 94? That was a big up, $60. That was rich at that time. Quick check of Hulk 181. Let me see. Seminal issue. Oh, $17.50. Sign me up. 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. I'll make that deal, Mile High Comic Books. Where's the time machine? Other people would go back in time to kill Hitler. I would go back in time to make orders from Mile High Comics. Back to our story. Blast! Why do I have such a big house? There's signs of an intruder here, but I haven't been able to find them yet. But he does find them, and here Farah arrives. And in this panel here, it's cool because she breaks the boundaries of the panel, which is really neat. Actually, 2 panels here. And you can really see the Mignola in this figure work here. The looseness of it. I'm starting to really like this odd couple pairing of Ernie Chan and Mike Mignola. It's interesting. Iron Fist stands transfixed with fear, caught in a wave of memory, reliving the shock and horror of seeing his mother die beneath the fangs of the wolf packs that roam outside Quan Lun. And then realization hits. She called me by my true name. And that belt buckle, that's the sign of Scherer. She's from Quan Lun. As you are the champion of men, Dragon Warrior, so is Farah the finest hunter of the wolves of Quan Lun. The power of Scherer gives her the form, as the power of Shao Lo burns within you. We are both champions, human, and today we shall see which is the better. Great middle panel here where the two come into combat with each other. No, mother! So Danny's totally freaked out by this, and Farah takes advantage of that. Iron Fist finds himself helpless against Farah's onslaught. Helpless until he remembers his training and flips her off of him. Cool use of color as well by our colorist, Chrissy Shield, to show us the darkened room here. Nice gray-blue figures here and black interiors. All right, so he's flipped her off of him, and now he's back up and she's back up. Your kind slew my mother, monster, and I'm going to make you pay. Farah's kind, Iron Fist? You did not listen. Gods, her attack, blindingly fast. Move, boy, move. What? He asks. Farah said she was the finest hunter among the wolves of Quan Lun. The day your mother fell, Farah was the first of the pack to reach her. So she is some kind of animal morphed into a humanoid form, and she indeed was one of the wolves who killed Iron Fist's mom, which is pretty personal. And he reacts accordingly. No! And he hits her with a solid right uppercut. Your race and Farah's have been bitter enemies since the dawn of time. You would slaughter dozens of our people if you had but the chance. And yet you censor her for taking but one life of yours. Iron Fist tenses for Farah's attack, but he cannot prepare for his unbridled ferocity. Fool! She's moving too fast to block. Got to duck and twist, under the claws, under the lunge, and here she misses. And again, great use of color by Christy Shield here, or lack of color. Uh-oh, I've lost track of her in the shadows. Where'd she go? And then she's perched up here. Shades of that old issue that I've also covered on the show in the Sabretooth fight where he is perched on a high perch crouching above Iron Fist. Oh no, she's right on top of me. This time, there is no time to dodge, no time for anything, so she's tearing him up here. She's reverting to her animal nature, not thinking. And that means I can do this. So again, he manages to drive her off of him with the power of his legs. Well done, Dragon Warrior, but you are spent now, while Farah is as fresh as ever. This shall be an easy kill. She's right, unless Daniel Rand concentrates, drawing his chi, his immortal spirit, from all parts of his battered body and channeling it unto the Iron Fist. Great shot there of him summoning the power of the Iron Fist. No! Take it away, Iron Fist. Shao Lo hurts Farah's eyes. I thought so. The Iron Fist is power on the same level as hers. Naturally, she fears it. You cannot do this forever, warrior. You will falter, and you will die, eh? Hey, Danny. All the creeps ran off. How are you? Hold it, Call. We got trouble. Okay, lady, back off, real slow. No, Farah will slay you all if she must, but Iron Fist dies today. Come on and try it, Misty says. Suddenly, in a voice heard only by Farah, hold, Farah. Your mission takes precedence over personal vendettas. Do as you are ordered. But Farah should slay him. Protest is useless. The voice has already faded. What's up? It's like she's talking to someone. But there's no one there, Iron Fist thinks to himself. Our conflict must end inconclusively, human, but we shall meet again, and when we do, your not-so-sweet blood will stain the snow. For now, Farah shall retrieve her prize. Her what? Iron Fist thinks. Oh no, my gem. And depart. She must have stashed it up there before I found her. And now, I'm too weak to follow. I can't stop her. Crash! She goes right out the window of his apartment. And she got what she came for, the gem. I only wish I knew why it was so important. You okay, Danny? I'll do. So, Iron Fist senses someone else is still at the door. Maybe more assailants. Iron Fist tenses for another confrontation. And, Harmony? I was just about to knock. Hi, Danny. The traffic is just awful. It took me simply hours to get here. Has Luke arrived yet? Meanwhile, back to Luke. Maybe I should head up to Fist now. No, not yet. Gotta stop in on old Toby and see how he's doing. Then maybe I'll. And then here, Luke Cage notices these toughs harassing this old lady. Christmas, 4 of them, haggling an old lady. Dirty little low-life scum. This is nothing new to Luke Cage, but as long as he lives, he will never get used to it. Okay, suckers, turn around. You got a surprise coming, and it ain't gonna be all nice. Huh? Oh, Mama, it's Power Man. I thought you was gone, Cage. I thought you weren't gonna be around here no more. I got news for you suckers. I'm still here. So by this page, man, this is just a perfect fusion of Mignola and Chan on the art. And he drives these 4 thugs away. They want no parts of this. Thought you'd see it that way. So now all that's left in the alley is Luke and the old lady. Oh, but before we get that, this is a nice gem. I remember this in all the comics that came out this month. Awesome John Byrne bullpen bulletins. Big Jim Shooter asked me to do a guest spot for the bullpen bulletin page. And for this longest time, like 2 years, I couldn't come up with anything resembling a theme. Then it hit me. Why not talk about why I love Marvel so much? Then it hit me again. Why not draw about why I love Marvel so much? What do I love about being here at Marvel? It's all the interesting people you get to work with. John Byrne. This is just awesome. I loved this as a kid and love it to this day. It would be a great poster. Just really cool. Love Puck here at the center of it all, looking at a young John Byrne at his drawing board. Really cool. Awesome use of scale here. Sasquatch still a towering over Man Thing and Hulk. Just very cool. He even gets the Wasp in. Those punks didn't hurt you none, Luke says to the old lady. I'm all right, young man, thanks to you. I know you. You're the one they call the Power Man. I never seen you before, but I heard of you. You're a guardian angel for me and my friends. I heard you was going away, that true? You going away and leave us? Don't you worry, ma'am. I'm still here, and I plan on being here a while yet. Hee hee. I knew you wasn't leaving. Goodbye, Mr. Power Man. See you in church. Yeah. Power Man dials a number and... Hello, DW, it's Luke. Luke, hi, where you been? Danny called. There was a ruckus up at his house, and he wants to know where you are. And hey, you gotta let me know as soon as you find a new place, huh? Yeah, sure. Speaking of which, you wouldn't have an apartment to rent, would you? Yeah, I thought you would. The end. Really, really cool ending. This was a great issue. And this is probably Busiek's 4th or 5th issue on the title, so let's check in with Power Fistfuls, the letter column here, and see what people think. The story was good in issue 94. I particularly like the ending and the incompetent but dangerous villain. I'm glad Kurt is the permanent writer on this book. I've enjoyed the recent stories and thought Luke's reaction to the offices was a nice touch. I feel something big could be happening in the book, and I'm looking forward to number 100. That was Ian Wayne from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. Dear Denny, Kurt Busiek is a true find. Don't let him go. But I'd like to add my vote to not change costumes. They're talking about Iron Fist costume. Or since there seems to be a lot of complaints about Iron Fist slippers, maybe you could change them into a sock boot, sort of like Spidey's, so they would still have the function of martial artist needs. So Kurt Busiek is really getting a lot of positive. Here's one more from Krieg Ritter of Maple Falls, Washington. Power Man and Iron Fist 94 had action and characterization which made it an enjoyable issue. I've only been collecting PMIF for just 2 months, and I love it. I've never seen Kurt Busiek before, but all I can say is I'm impressed. So yeah, Kurt is making a splash. I'm not sure how much longer he stayed on the title, probably through issue 100, but I think at some point James Owsley comes and takes it over and finishes it out. And we finish up the issue with this awesome Marvel House ad for the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Volume 1. I didn't know that, the Watcher says. I must have blinked. And I'm pretty certain this is the hand of the mega talented Marie Severin on this house ad. Super cool. Great issue of Power Man and Iron Fist 97, containing early Kurt Busiek script and the odd couple pairing of Ernie Chan on pencils and Mike Mignola on inks. But man, it really worked out well. It was a fun issue. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the show. If you did, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. And I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.